Hello and welcome once again to a Bakugan Evolutions deck profile. I'm BakuBrad96 and today I will be taking a look at my Mono Platinum Sharktar deck profile. This is really epic and it's coming straight off of my 500 subscriber special where I did unbox the Ventus Platinum Sharktar, making the trio complete. Now without further ado, I am going to go ahead and get straight into it because I don't want this video to be too long or too boring. So starting off with the main team, of course, it is going to be Aquos Platinum Sharktar, a blue magic shield and orange shield core, B power of 900 with 3 damage. After that, it is my newly acquired Ventus Sharktar, double magic shield, B power of 800 with 5 damage, extremely epic. And then lastly, one of the first Platinum Bakugan I did pick up and unbox on the channel for Evolutions, but I have not used it in a deck yet. It is the Aurelus Sharktar, double orange shield, B power of 400 with 6 damage, and then it does have the core effect. When it lands on an orange shield, you do get to steal a Bakucrew from an opposing active Bakugan for your own. So really neat effect there, and it is the only Sharktar to have an ability that I own at least, so really good to finally use it, and it is a really cool theme deck in my opinion. So the core lineup is very interesting, a little different than what I normally run, because it is actually a Baku gear strategy of a sort. So I am using one orange shield that is plus 150 B power, and then Baku gear costs minus 2 energy. For the other two orange shield, just the regular plus 300 B power. For the magic shield, I run 1 plus 500 B power, and then Baku gear are minus 1 energy. The other two magic shield are plus 400 B power, and then Baku gear are minus 2 energy. So it definitely helps play some of the larger or more expensive Baku gear in the deck as far as energy cost goes, and those core, at least in the thought process, will help play those cards quicker and faster in the actual game. But going ahead, taking a quick look at the figures now. I will save the Geogon and Nanogon for the end, but here is Aquos Platinum Sharktar. Such a beaut. Again, the Sharktar are really awesome in evolutions, especially the platinum ones. The new design is awesome, and almost the entire Bakugan is metal. So really, really awesome there. Take a quick look at the Ventus. Its magnet is a little strong, so it kind of just sticks there. It doesn't want to pop open. But this is the Ventus Platinum Sharktar. Really epic. And then, of course, there is Yam Shark, the sweet potato of Bakugan. Such a peculiar platinum design with the burnt orange coloring. I kind of ranted about this when I unboxed it, but it is still cool nonetheless. Really epic trio of sharks there. Kind of have a Jaws theme going on. I guess that's what you could call this deck more than anything. The Jaws deck. But now then, going ahead and moving on to the deck profile itself. A card that everyone has just seen if you checked out my previous requested deck profile. This is Aquos Overwhelm. 1 energy for plus 200 B power, but it does have the boost ability. So if you have 7 or more energy cards in play, plus 600 B power instead, which is huge because this deck actually wants to do that. It is all about getting out more energy, or a turbo, if you will. You know, boosting above your opponent, having more energy to your opponent, playing out Baku gear cards, and having that advantage. Moving along though, deep dive, 1 energy to draw 1, and you may reroll your Bakugan. Again, it is a reroll card, gotta have it. 2 body breaker, because you do have access to Aurelus with this build. 2 energy for Battle Mastery, which you get to choose 1, plus 300 B power or plus 4 damage. So situational depending on when you want to play it, but a neat card overall. After that is 2 Chomping Tornado. 2 energy for plus 500 B power is just really solid. Next up, I do run 1 of Pyro Storm. That is going to be 2 energy to reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. You may put up to 1 action Bakugear Evo and Hero card revealed this way into your hand. The rest go on the bottom of the deck in any order. So it's kind of like a pseudo card draw or deck search, if you will. Unfortunately, you don't have many targets. You are going to get 1 action card, and then generally 1 Bakugear because there's not really a whole lot of options. Otherwise, the deck doesn't have any Evos or Heroes, but it could get you to the Bakugear you need on a given turn, and that's why I run it. I also run 2 Turn to Energy. 2 energy to energize this uncharged. Again, we want boost, we want turbo, we want to play as many energy as possible. Then I have 1 Ventus Rampage, 2 energy for plus 1 damage for each energy card you have in play, and then boost if you have 7 or more energy cards in play. You also get Shadow Strike as well, which again, a really good card and an easy way to get out a lot of damage in 1 turn. After that though, it is the first Bakugear of the deck, Savage Swarm. 3 energy for a Bakugear with an armor rating of 1. Boost effect, when you play this, if you have 7 or more energy cards in play, you can give a Bakugan plus 500 B power. Otherwise, it gives the Bakugan 100 B power and 4 damage. So it does help the Sharktar on the damage side of things while providing a small B power buff. You definitely want to play this when you have boost active. Otherwise, it's kind of an iffy card. It does have armor rating though, so that is the plus side, gets to soak up some damage. Next up is Shield Breaker. It is more or less a 3 energy cost card for plus 6, but this turn your Bakugan gets Victor plus 6 and then ignore armor rating on opposing players' cards this turn. I say generally it's a 3 for 6 damage, but kind of a little worse than that because you actually have to win the brawl against the opponent to get that plus 6. But if you do get to ignore armor rating, which is really good against opposing Bakugear strategies, and I wanted to give it a whirl. I am running 1 of Crest Stormers again, just like my last Aquos deck profile. It is just a really solid card. 4 energy for a Bakugear with an armor rating of 2. When this flips from your deck, you may pay 2 energy to draw 1. Otherwise, a Bakugan equipped with it gets 400 B power and 2 damage, which is just really good. A lot of 1-ofs in this deck, continuing with Gaia Force. 4 energy for a card where each player may energize the top card of their deck uncharged, but it has the Aurelus power effect, so if you have an Aurelus Bakugan on your team, you also energize this uncharged. So even though you do give your opponent an extra energy, you're actually going to get 2 off of this, which I think is well worth it because again, you're trying to reach that 7 energy limit to get your boost active. For defensive measures, I do have 2 Hook Trap. 4 energy to give a non-Aquos, non-Ventus Bakugan minus 1200 B power. That is a huge amount of B power to take away from an opponent. It is a shame it is locked outside of non-Aquos and Ventus. So if you're going against those decks, this card is useless. Otherwise, it's really strong. Then Ventus Venom, 4 energy for you must reroll your Bakugan. If you open on the reroll, you may energize the top 2 cards of your deck uncharged, and then 100 B power for each energy card you have in play. You get 100 B power for each. So this is a really powerful card depending on when you play it. I definitely see a lot more value late game rather than early game, but it is a reroll card and gotta love those. Wild Strike, again, just for the turbo. 4 energy for minus 4 damage. Awful, but you do get to energize it uncharged afterwards. And that's where the big playmaker comes in because it's just a free energy card. More Bakugear with Baku Mortar. 5 energy for a Bakugear with Shadow Strike, and then the equipped Bakugan gets plus 300 B power and plus 6 damage. So it just makes our big Sharktars even bigger later on in the game. After that is 2 multi-strike, 5 energy for plus 300 B power, and draw 3. So this deck does not have any card draw outside of like the Pyro Storm, so I thought I would throw in just a few cards to help with that. And multi-strike not only provides a small amount of beat power late game, but it also digs us into, hopefully, a win condition. Now then, the higher costed Bakugear of the deck, Arlen Accelerator, 6 energy for a Bakugear with an armor rating of 4. Otherwise, your Bakugan equipped gets 400 B power and 4 damage. Not bad at all. That 4 armor rating is really nice. And then it is a Bakugear deck, so again, I am using the Telekinesis Crown. Sub this for anything you want. It's really just the only cards that I have. But 6 energy for a Bakugear with an armor rating of 2. And the equipped Bakugan gets 600 B power and 6 damage. I'm not saying it's not a good card, it just costs so much to get out. I hope the idea of this deck works and I'm able to turbo it out quicker than actually having to wait for turn 6. And then I have 1 Gaia Rockets. It's going to be 7 energy for a Bakugear with an armor rating of 2. When this flips from your deck, you may pay 2 energy to energize a card from your hand uncharged. So again, it does help, kind of cheat out some more energy. Otherwise, the equipped Bakugan gets 700 B power and 5 more damage. Just really powerful Bakugear all around. Now then, the Geogon of the deck. I am using the new Arcleon, Ventus Arcleon from Evolutions. 3 energy for a B power of 400 and 6 damage. But if it lands on Magic Shield, which this deck runs a lot of, plus 1000 B power. That in tandem with the 5 or 400, you're talking 1800 B power, which is a nice amount. To synergize with the Magic Shield cores, I am using Aquos Bobadrill as well. 3 energy for a B power of 1400, 3 damage. If it lands on a Magic Shield, plus 5 damage and 1 Frost Strike. And it does have the Victor Team Attack Initiate ability or effect as well, which is just stellar. Love that on Geogon. Always going to use them when I can. The final Geogon I use for the deck is Aurelus Mutasect. 4 energy for a B power of 1900 and 7 damage. So it's really just a better Titan King. Now then, for flip cards. Deep Freeze, 1 energy to block a Bakugan holding an orange shield or a helix. The deck has a lot of orange shields, so punish the opponent for picking them up. Same reason I use Rock Riser, 1 energy to block a Bakugan holding a orange or magic shield. And then just your, stereotypical coverage cards, repel outsiders and counter outsiders. 3 energy to both block non-Ventus and non-Aquos Bakugan respectively. 2 Sneaky Squid, 4 energy to block a non-fusion Bakugan, and if you do, draw 1. And the last flip card of the deck profile, Too Fast, I run 2 of these. 4 energy to block a non-fusion Bakugan, and if you do, you get to energize this uncharged. So not only do you get to stop an attack, but this actually cheats out an energy itself, which is really, really nice. That does it for the main deck brawlers, but I am using the new Nanogon mechanic. The Nanogon I chose to run for this deck will be Aquos Widow on Orange Shield plus 200 B power, or on Double Orange Shield plus 600 B power. I did use this in my last couple of Aquos builds because it's a decently solid Nanogon and I don't have very many to use, so I have to kind of just throw them in when I can. And then lastly, I am using the Aurelus Scorcher, which I don't get the opportunity to use a whole bunch because I rarely use Aurelus Bakugan. The lack of cards really does it in for me. I hope to change that soon, but back to the Scorcher. On Orange and Magic Shield, plus 700 B power. But then on Double Orange Shield and Magic Shield, plus 1100 B power. And you get to steal a Bakucrew from an opposing active Bakugan and place it on your own. That last effect is stellar. Honestly, if you get either of those off, it's really good. But, you know, just Nanogon to run. Really cool. Take a quick look here. This is Nano Scorcher. So confusing because it just looks like a diamond Aurelus Bakugan to me. But, I don't know, I guess it's not, but it just kind of reminds me of a diamond. Fold it out. There it is. It does have a little tailpiece that I never can seem to... Oh, there we go. Finally, first time I did not fail on camera. But there is Aurelus Scorcher. Of course, it does have the pin on the head, so it can be pinned into your other Bakugan. And then Nano Widow, which I do show off quite a bit. It's probably one of my favorites, because it reminds me of a baby Webam. But there it is. Of course, the peg is in the middle there. No harm in pegging up a Sharktar, I suppose. Where are the pegs? Oh, it's on the head. Oh, that's going to be great. Oh, no, doesn't want to peg in. This just in, the peg does not peg. Okay. Well, you all get the point. No sense in me wasting time just sitting there fidgeting with it. Quickly reviewing the figures for the Geogon because they are just as awesome. Aurelus Mutasect. Ventus Arcleon using the new Ventus paint scheme, which is just epic with the red. Looks very cool and menacing. And then I will drop out, of course, the Aquos Bobadrill. Alright, that does it for this deck profile. Thank you all for watching. As always, please drop a like on the video and subscribe for more amazing Bakugan content. I hope to keep things rolling, but until then, stay safe, best of wishes to you all, and remember, Bakugan Brawl.